The room crackled with anticipation as Joan Laporta, Barcelona's president, settled into his interview chair for a candid chat broadcast through the club's own channels and via CNN. The late afternoon light filtered through the studio window, tracing the fine lines of determination on his face. He spoke with unguarded admiration for Paris Saint-Germain, describing them not as distant rivals but as kindred spirits in football's grand tapestry, two teams that last season wove plays so dazzling the world couldn't look away. His words carried a gentle excitement, like the hush before a storm, and hinted at something even bigger on the horizon. Laporta leaned forward, voice warm, as he painted a vivid picture of PSG's achievements. They dominated Europe, he began, each syllable rolling like a coach, inspiring his squad at halftime. He listed their trophies, the coveted Champions League crown, the relentless march to a French league title, and spoke of their style, football that sang with artistry, guided by a tactician whose vision matched the brilliance of his star-studded roster. You could almost hear the roar of the Parc des Princes crowd, feel the electric buzz as each pass found its mark, each goal struck like lightning on a tranquil night. Yet beneath the admiration lay a subtle note of regret. Two powerhouses, each at their peak, had never clashed where it mattered most. There was a moment of silence, the kind that leaves you leaning in. Laporta's eyebrows rose as he admitted the shared frustration. We never got to meet them in a final. You could almost see yesterday's ghost swirling around him, missed draws, unlucky brackets, while he traced invisible lines between Barcelona's camp, new and PSG glass skyscrapers. Both clubs had soared, leaving lesser teams in their wake, yet fate had conspired to keep them apart when the trophy hung highest. It was as though the greatest dance partners had been summoned to the same ballroom, only to discover the doors locked. Then Laporta's tone shifted, charged with possibility. He spoke of Barcelona versus PSG not as just another fixture, but as a global spectacle, a collision of philosophies and talents that could echo far beyond 90 minutes. Imagine the buzz, he said, eyes gleaming, a raucous carnival of colour and sound, where every touch might birth a masterpiece and every tackle pulse like a drumbeat in the night. Could such a meeting settle once and for all which side truly reigned supreme? The question hung in the air like the final notes of a symphony, urging everyone to lean forward, hearts pounding. With a thoughtful pause, Laporta confessed his deepest hope. This season, let's finally find out which one is better. His voice carried a quiet steel, acknowledging that football's landscape never sleeps. Other clubs, hungry and ambitious, could yet burst onto the scene, emerging as dark horses wielding fresh tactics or unpolished diamonds. But even as he tipped his hat to potential challengers, he returned to that central rivalry, Barcelona and PSG, as if two ancient warriors stood ready at the gates, waiting for the trumpets to sound. Would this be the year the two met in mortal combat? The suspense lingered like the last frame of a thriller. He then shifted to the echo around the world, fans, pundits and casual viewers who had all whispered the same verdict. Barcelona and Paris had played the finest football on the planet. You could almost hear the chatter in cafes from Madrid to Mumbai, in bars from Buenos Aires to Beijing, where supporters clung to every highlight reel, arguing passionately which team danced more gracefully across the pitch. That global chorus, Laporta argued, proves why this matchup matters, not just to die-hard followers, but to everyone who loves the beautiful game. The expectation was a living, breathing entity, pulsing through stadiums and living rooms alike. The conversation then turned to structure, as Laporta extended congratulations to UEFA President Alexander Seferin. He described Seferin as a man with a clear vision, someone who understands that the thrill of competition depends on more than just talent. It also needs a stage worthy of its stars. The new Champions League format, Laporta said, feels like a finely tuned instrument, one that raises the volume on every clash and gives underdogs a fighting chance. You could almost hear the gears of European football clicking into a new rhythm, promising unpredictability and quality in equal measure. Leaning back, Laporta smiled as he pictured Seferin himself, remote in hand, eyes glued to a match between these two giants. Would he be in his office, the soft hum of monitors around him, or perched in a VIP box, champagne flute in hand? The image carried warmth, a leader who doesn't just regulate the tournament, but savours its drama, its heartbreaks and triumphs. I know he enjoys this spectacle, Laporta said, as if describing a child's favourite toy, simple yet profoundly true. It was a reminder that even those at the top share the same pulse that quickens when the ball rolls. Finally, Laporta circled back to hope, the hope that next season's draw, fixture list or bracket would at last place Barcelona and PSG on a collision course for glory. Will the ticket scanners hum under thousands of eager fans? Will the floodlights shine on a field where history might bend? The anticipation settled like dusk before dawn, leaving only one question resonating. Most awaited duel. The answer remains just out of reach, dangling over the horizon like the promise of a new day.